Our goal is really simple. We're here to help you succeed.
We live? Yeah. Strick City. Woo! Strick City. All over the world.
Strick City, man, we live. Yo, Strick City on the ride. Yo, look like surprise. Yo, taking your city like we live. Yo, man, we live. Yo, taking your city like surprise. Yo, on the ride. Yo, Strick City coming live. Yo.
You got me. Yeah. It took us a minute to get it together, but now we're here. Hey, did y'all miss me? Because I could definitely tell you that I miss you. Like, real talk, man. It's glad to be back. Strick City Live. We're on YouTube, so wherever you are, y'all just need to find us. You know, Strick City 01, that's the channel. Come through, hang out with your boy, Strick, man. We've done so much over the last couple of weeks. I got to say this to everybody that's in Wichita, Kansas, that came out to see my wife last week. Man, that was such a blessing. I felt like they had the hospitality of the South in Kansas. You know, I really felt the love, and people really enjoyed themselves. And when they came to the CD booth, let me say this. People say that folks are not buying CDs anymore. And I want to tell you this personally. They are buying CDs. They're just not buying your CD. Because people are still buying CDs, and which is it, 2021? Wait, 2021? They still buy CDs, man. I'm telling you, I sold a whole bunch of Kim Scott CDs in Kansas. They're rocking it in their cars today or wherever they play their CDs, man. People are still buying them. We got a lot going on for you. The stream show, all right? If you want to be a part of the stream show, all you have to do is go to our Facebook page and join the stream show Facebook group. You already seen that, of course. Every Sunday night at 7 p.m., Brent Collins and myself, we go on and we help streamers succeed, working with some people right now, just trying to get the lighting right, get the microphones right, and I'm telling you, we are helping people. So if you're somebody that at the least you just want to have a better Zoom, guess what? We got you. We can teach you how to level up whatever it is you're doing, whether you're doing business calls or whether you have your own show. And how do we help? We help cut down the time of your personal learning curve to know how to do what you want to do. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. David Hunt, glad you're here with us today. Blind guy, his wife, their life, man, y'all are always cool to hang out with me, man. Love y'all coming through, and thank you for the compliment on the intro. If you are here, I need to see you in the comments. I want to see you in the comments. So if you are definitely a person that likes to hang out with us, let me know that you're around, and click the subscription or to subscribe, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notification. Hang out with Strick. I got a great guest for you today. Known this guy for a while, and he is the pros pro. Like, this guy knows a lot about tech. He knows a lot about music, and he loved the kids, or at least he's in the classroom, so he's got to love what he does, right? So without further ado, I want to bring him on, man. I want to bring, you probably already hear him out there laughing at me. So let me bring him on so he can hang out with us. None other than Melvin M. Come on, man. Y'all know I got it from the ATL. Miller, come on. What's up?
What up, Strick? What up, man?
Hey, I am so glad, you know what I'm saying, that you came to hang out with me today. It is a pleasure to have you on the show. And I know you're going to be in town this weekend, so let me say that first. Let's go ahead and get it out. So big shouts out to Tremaine and Karen of Perfect Note. They got you coming through this Saturday. Am I right in saying
Yes, sir.
that?
Yes, sir. You are absolutely correct.
So Saturday, go ahead. You know the times and dates better than I do.
I will be in Hoover/Birmingham Saturday. Showtime is 7 p.m. and the band is killing. I've got PJ Spraggins on drums,
My dude.
Sean Michael Ray on bass,
My guy.
Eric Dubose on guitar. I mean, and a new keyboard player that Sean hooked me up with that is going to be killing.
That's what's up.
And of course, I would be really, really getting myself in trouble if I did not say I've got my beautiful wife joining me on vocals.
That's what's up.
It's going to be fun. 7 p.m. start, Perfect Note, Hoover.
Man, there you go. That's where to plug it. So everybody that's in the area that knows about Perfect Note, I'm putting you on game. If you haven't heard Melvin Miller, you are going to really bless yourself by coming through Saturday night to hang out and to hear what he does. Very unique, all right? Very unique. And I want to stop this one time. I met this guy not too long ago on Rob's Balasabas page inside the Lab PC. He says he hadn't bought a CD in quite some time. So this is what I need you to do. I need you to go to Amazon, okay? I need you to go to Amazon. She just hit up the comment, so I'm going to put the picture and name, Kim Scott. You want to go to Amazon.com and you want to buy a Kim Scott CD. And while you're there, get you a Melvin Miller CD as well. And you would have purchased a CD. Now, you deal with PCs now. I'm sure you still got a CD drive or a DVD drive on your PC. All right. Thank you for hanging out with us, man. Thank you for having out. And Blind Guy, his wife, their life, they say, welcome, Melvin. So,
hey, Blind Guy. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Very, very good. Our community, I just got to say this, man. We have one of the best communities out there. So you're going to see a whole bunch of people come through and holler at you. But saying that, you've been hanging around the fringes of the eCamp community like you know everybody. Now, what got you into doing some streaming stuff yourself?
Well, you know, as I'm sure for most people, when COVID hit,
right,
I've been doing a lot of live things. I had this event that I was doing called M3 Lounge. It was called the M3 Lounge, which is where I would go to various venues. The main venue was St. James Live. And essentially I would take over that venue and do my own show, my own concert. The venue just gave me the room. When COVID hit, all live stuff stopped, but I knew that I still wanted to do the M3 Lounge. And what better way to do the M3 Lounge than to stream it at that point in time?
Gotcha.
So when I tell you I jumped head over heels into figuring out I'm going to get myself in trouble, Strick, right way.
I got you.
The right way to go live.
Okay.
Meaning there were a number of people that were going live from cell phones, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think that as artists, a lot of times, that we have to make sure that we continue our brand and represent our brand in the right way. So for me, that meant figuring out the best software that will enable me to go live in the M3 brand way.
Gotcha.
And that was eCam Live, hands down. I tried some other ones, which I won't mention, but when I found eCam, I fell in love with it. And actually through eCam, like you said, I've known you for years, but we really connected when I saw that you were using eCam.
And I do appreciate that. And so this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm not gonna charge you for it. I'm just gonna take this out, send it to eCam so they can have the testimonial from Melvin M. Miller about eCam. So what I know about most Mac users, okay, this is a very unique group of people that are willing to pay a little more for extra, what we call excellence, okay? And I'm saying this, and I know I got my PC guy on watching this today because he will probably differ with that. But I think it's a different group of people, and we have all congregated together using eCam because, number one, you couldn't use vMix on a Mac. So the next best thing, everybody had to search and find, it was eCam. So nobody wanted to do OBS because it's just so hard to deal with, a little more complicated. eCam just made it so easy, and you're able to do all the things that you see today. And brother, I got to tell you, I remember us talking in the beginning. Your set did not look like this. Like you've been putting in some work, man. Tell me about what you got going on here. What kind of camera you use and microphone, the whole nine.
I jumped headfirst in, and at that particular point in time, I couldn't find anything on Amazon because everything was sold out and ridiculously priced. So I called a great friend of mine, Eric, and I said, "Hey man, I need a camera. You're the expert. What do you have in your arsenal that I can buy?" And he sent me a Canon, and I don't remember the model. It wasn't the M50, but he sent me a Canon because I know there's some people in the community that have this. Diana has this thing about the M50 now, but anyway, he said, "Hey man, I've got this Panasonic G7, 4K, et cetera, et cetera." I said, "Let me try it." I got it home and haven't gone anywhere since. So I'm using the Panasonic G7, and because I'm doing, like you said, I'm a musician, I'm using the SM7B.
You got to have that. Welcome to the SM7B boy family. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole group of us, but keep going.
Now, I'm using the SM7B, and I actually use it for my radio show as well as recording my trumpet. I'm in love with the 7B. And then I've got it going into my Rodecaster Pro.
Got you.
Rodecaster Pro, and at this point, I'm using the Mac Mini 2018, which allowed me to, I'm running 3 monitors in front of me right now, 3 monitors, my Apollo Twin, my stream, of course I have a Stream Deck in front of me as well. And I'm running 2018 Mac Mini maxed out at 64 gigs.
Wow.
And it's running everything beautifully. So that's that's part of my gear.
Have you had a chance to meet our guy Keith Pelzer in the community yet? Have you met him?
I was on his show the other night. When he was streaming. He had 7 cameras going at the same time.
Yeah. Okay, he kept saying, "Melvin, okay, I got it." So I got to have you meet him personally, man. You will absolutely love him for the technology piece that he brings. And you saw what he was doing with his Mac Minis, kind of showing off all of his equipment, man. But you will absolutely love this guy. That being said, we're talking about the streaming piece and what you had to do to continue to kind of entertain people in the midst of COVID, but you're also doing some similar stuff in the classroom, right?
Absolutely. So again, when COVID hit and we went virtual,
now people don't know that you're a teacher, so kind of give me the backdrop as your profession as a teacher.
Well, I'm from Chicago, Illinois, originally from Chicago, and I had some really, really great teachers, from my elementary school band director who started me on trumpet, Mr. Cooper, to my high school band director, Mr. Street, leaving there and going to Tennessee State University and getting under Prof. Graves and Prof. Kirk and Prof. Davis. I've had some great teachers. So when I went to college, I had a conversation with my parents. Well, it was a sort of a conversation. They told me what I was going to do. I said, "I want to major in trumpet." They said, No, you're not. You're going to major in education. And from that point on, I majored in education, minored in trumpet, got my degree in education and teaching. And so I've been teaching and letting students see what they can be from an artist standpoint. So I make sure that all of my principals, all of my students understand that I'm a musician and I'm an educator. And I never separate the two, because I want them to understand that through this musical journey, that it can grow to being able to pay your college tuition. I went to Tennessee State University, completely free ride from playing my horn. That's because I had great teachers. So I've always been an educator and always an advocate for education and educators. So when we went virtual, we were using a couple of different softwares, and I had to figure out how to still maintain my personality as an educator and my personality as a musician. And I could not just go live straight into Microsoft Teams or into Zoom.
Got you.
I couldn't do it.
You can.
So I said, aha, Ecamm Live.
Can, yeah.
So I took Ecamm Live, and literally every day in my classroom, I was streaming via Ecamm Live using the virtual camera to my students. And I was able to do so much in terms of engagement and using different scenes and backdrop and green screen and everything I could to keep the students engaged and dancing and having fun without having to You know, when people go live, they say, "Can you hear me? Can you see me?" All that. I was able to put myself in the screen using Ecamm, transparent backgrounds, and all those kinds of things in front of my students. So I'm a pro Ecammer until the end, and I have the pro subscription.
That's
so
what's up.
I'm a pro Ecamm user.
Man,
Absolutely.
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. It was probably day number 2. I went to my wife and said, "Hey, I really like this software. I'm just gonna buy up the yearly subscription. Like I need this." So that's how I got introduced to Ecamm. Second day, I was like, "I absolutely love this. I could do everything I want to do." And I still was new. I didn't have all the lights that I needed. I didn't have the SM7B at the time. And but I made what I was using work. And then you just kind of, as you learn and as you grow, you just kind of get new pieces. I'm one that I want to get the item that I need, okay, for the cheapest amount. All right, let me tell you why I do that. I'm still learning. So a lot of the equipment that you want to get, it could be in the thousands of dollars. And you can get something for $200 that'll do the same thing that the $1,000 unit would do. So I don't automatically know how to use it. So instead of spending $1,000, let me get the $200 one, right? Use that, and if you buy it right, what you're able to do is resell that item and then get the $1,000 item. That's how I like to do it. Somebody would say, "Well, I just want to go get the $1,000 item." If you got the budget for that, you can. I want to know when I'm getting something, the use case for it, how I'm going to use it, and this is I know that my money is being well spent. Same way that I did with the camera. I didn't just automatically upgrade to the biggest and best camera. I wanted to be sure that I was making my camera that I already had work to the best of its ability.
Absolutely.
Because if you change cameras but you don't change lens, you're really not changing too much. But you don't know that unless you walk through the process. Okay?
Absolutely.
So before I changed cameras, I changed lenses. And then I'm like, well, let me bring myself up to a new up-to-date processor. With the new processor, what comes with a new camera. And when I did that, it's like, I got it. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm definitely further than I was. So let me go. My wife actually said something here. That's why they are called artist teachers. That's pretty cool that she would say that. The best teachers is when you still honor your craft. So good job, Melvin. So shouts out to her. Shouts out to the amazing teachers. Blind Guy, I love that he's all in the comments, man. Keep it coming, man. Keep it coming. Blind Guy, his wife, their life. Another great comment for them along with my wife. So you're teaching, you're live streaming, and now you're getting prepared to go back on the road. Hold on. Let me do this real quick. Let me do this. I'm sorry to interrupt our conversation.
It's okay.
But there he is. Brent Collins. We have just got off the phone with Brent Collins. So if you don't know Brent Collins, Sunday nights, I already talked about it, the stream show where Brent is the co-host. And we had to get Brent on the phone today because all of us techies couldn't figure out the Rodecaster. So the three of us, really the two, Melvin and Brent, was trying to figure out the Rodecaster setup because we needed to do some tweaks to the settings so that the sound was right tonight. So thanks, Brent, for taking the time away from his family to hang out with Strick City to make this work. And that's why you have the Rodecaster, because you can just press a button and get sound effects just like that. Absolutely love it. Again, thank you, Brent, for hanging out with us tonight, for making that happen, man. What's the schedule? Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I wanted to go back just a little bit for a second.
Go ahead.
I think you hit on some very important points in terms of gear. I think that a lot of times, and I'm guilty of it, I am that guy that sometimes the shiny objects catch my attention, Right. But I've had to be very intentional about what I was doing in terms of balancing the learning curve for streaming and balancing producing music and practicing and playing trumpet. So I didn't want to, I heard this term floating around the community, gas. I had to make sure that I did not get gear acquisition syndrome.
Because it's
by
easy.
looking at, looking at all the newest and ooh, I need. No, you don't need that. You need to figure out what like you just said, your case situation. What do you need to bring to life that initial vision? And then once you get that going, then really figure out what you need. Don't just go start buying stuff. Please don't do that.
So everybody has a way of doing things, and I'm going to let you in on a secret, okay? Every time someone said, I like this product, I go to, I search AppSumo .1. So if you don't know what AppSumo is, it's another tech secret. AppSumo.com. I think it's .com or .io. I think it's .com. It is where startups go to promote and market their new software. All right. So whatever you're looking for, they have, I would say, a good 50 pieces of software at a time. But people go there, and the startups are there, and you can get like lifetime deals. So at one point, Restream is where we have the multiple. You can cast multiple streams out there to different destinations, right? Where at one time, Restream had a lifetime deal on AppSumo. It's like, man, you could have really come up if you got that deal, right? I think it may have been like $35 at one point, lifetime.
Oh, wow. Lifetime.
And now, I don't know how much money it is a month. Started like maybe $19 a month, something like that. I'm not really sure. Don't quote me on that. So it's a place to go to get the new latest and greatest app at a lifetime deal. Like, I always peruse AppSumo for what they have to offer. But also, when people are having softwares that they use and they say, this is the latest and greatest, how do you use it? And then I go find an app that could do the same thing at half the price. So there's something like Calendly. All right, I'll give you one, Calendly. And if you're using interviewing guests, it is so cool to use a calendar invite like this system called Calendly. Basically, you send out the Calendly, and it tells them when you have an opening. They pick the time. You already said you were open, so it's based off of when they could go, and it works both ways. So you don't have to call and let me work out the schedule. I can't do that. Don't worry about it. I'm going to send you this link, and you pick the open date because you've already programmed your Calendly to show you them when you're open. Well,
I've heard of it.
They have another software called TidyCal, TIDYCAL, $20, all right, on AppSumo, and it does the same thing. It connects to my Google Calendar. I have the opening dates. I send you the link. You pick a time that you're open to come in, and it sends me the alert, and it sends you an email confirming. Perfect. Calendly is like $8 a month. TidyCal is like $20 one time. Dude, I'm telling you, we may have gotten off, but what I'm saying is if you don't do your research, you could be paying $8 another subscription. Like, how many subscriptions we going to have? Like, they made me get Disney Plus. My son and my wife is like, we got to have Disney Plus. I'm like, not another subscription. I don't watch Disney, but they wanted to watch it. So when you think about not just for your business, but for your home, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Everybody's going to ask you to subscribe to something. Like, that's the new form of doing business. It's not a transaction one at a time. It's like, just subscribe to me monthly, and everybody's good. So,
and even in the business world, to your point, it's called an ROI, return on investment.
Yes.
What is it that you're buying, and how much are you putting out before you begin to get something? I know you got to spend money to make money. I get that, but how much money do you have to spend before you start making it? So my whole thing, I'm with you 100%. Anytime I see a piece of gear, I didn't know about the AppSumo, but I do now. But anytime I see a piece of gear, first thing I do is research.
Right.
I research night and day. I go find the pros and the cons of it. I have an X32 32 channel mixer over here right next to me. So the question was, why do I need a Rodecaster Pro? Right. Well, it came in perfectly in my use case scenario for being portable
Gotcha.
and for giving me the mix minus without having to do a whole lot of extra routing,
Gotcha.
without having to use the other program that some people use, Loopback.
Loop
I
back.
can do,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I can do all those things through the Rodecaster Pro. So it was a no-brainer. I needed the Rodecaster Pro for my use case scenario.
Right.
So that's how I'm just like you. When I see a piece of gear, I don't just go buy it. I have to know why I need it and how can I use it to get a return on my investment.
I love it. Now, Melvin, we're talking about gear. We're talking about cameras and all the technology stuff. But, man, you're an artist. You're a trumpet player. You're a musician, man. You know, I don't want people to lose the fact of, well, let me say it this way. Even in the midst of this pandemic, you had to do more, all right? You had to do more than just be a musician. You had to find ways to be innovative. You had to be a producer. You had to be a promoter, a virtual promoter. Let's just say it that way, a virtual promoter along with your artistry. How has that been for you trying to balance all of that? And, David, I appreciate you saying that. I hope I did help.
I think that, Strick, for me, it's been an ongoing process. So I am the recording artist, absolutely, but I'm the nerd and I'm the businessman as well. And I say that because way back when websites were first coming out, I'm not that old. Don't let the beard. But
I got you.
when everybody was building a website, you know, it was thousands of dollars to just get a basic little bitty website.
Right.
So what I did one summer, literally, was go learn Dreamweaver and learn how to build my own website.
Wow, not Dreamweaver.
So yes, sir. I learned Dreamweaver back in the day. It was Adobe Go Live and Dreamweaver.
Wow.
I learned Dreamweaver. So to answer your question, I've always been the artist that likes to, number one, keep as much as I can in-house, but also know what's going out.
That's good.
So I've sent pictures out to various people for magazine shoots and everything. And sometimes, you know, it'll come back with my head is squashed or the graphic is not right. So I learned Adobe Illustrator. I learned Photoshop. So I've always been the artist / techie nerd to learn things. So when COVID hit, it was a natural progression to just add the streaming piece to my arsenal. I've done, people don't know this, but every last album cover, every last release cover.
Oh, it's
from
an album. It's a 45 cover.
But Strick, guess what? I've done all of my own graphic design.
That's awesome, man.
For every release I've done all the graphics for it. I do all the liners. I do all that in-house.
That's good.
I had a conversation with Tremel Starks. I don't know if you know Tremel, but he's a producer here. And we were having a conversation about artists learning how to mix their own projects. Now that's a learning curve and a half.
It is.
But from the conversation, by the time I, as an artist, send you my project and I say, okay, you mix it and you send it back to me. And I say, well, no, can we tweak this? And I send it back to you. And then the back and forth. If you have the know-how and the ability, it's just a lot quicker to do it yourself.
Gotcha.
So that's been my motto. I just, you know, I used to use a company, I don't want to say their name, but a CD making company.
Okay.
And I would send them my graphics and they send it back with a proof and it went back and forth. And I was like, I'll just do it myself. So yes, I'm an artist, but I also create art in my graphics as well.
I get it. So we have a lot in common. I'm a do-it-yourself guy as well. I like to pay for things as I can because I do believe in that economy that it will come back to you. You know, it's kind of like you put money in and hopefully that money comes out on your end because a photographer needs to be paid. You know,
Absolutely.
I do believe that there's different, you got to pay the producer, you got to pay the other musicians. And I believe in having that circle, but where you can, okay, especially if it's a time crunch for whatever reason, like we had an issue with a graphic artist that we were just in a time crunch. Guess what? I'm not going to tell you which album I did, but I had to do the cover for my wife's album. And, I'm not a graphic artist, but sometimes you just got to you just got to do it. And knowing how to do it also helps you when it comes to paying for what you need to pay for.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
if you know what a graphic artist has to do, sometimes you can get with graphic artists that have these huge prices. Like, brother, you're going to have to show me why I got to pay you that price. Like, let me see some of the stuff you've done that justify it. Like, this is what I did. This is what you did. If I don't see no difference, fine. Now, if I can see a difference, I'm willing to pay you to be better than me. All right. I'll do that. Like, if you are better than me, you know your craft, I will pay you whatever it is to get your product, because it's going to make me look better.
Absolutely.
But if you can't, or like you said, hey, you want to make a tweak to it? No, just send it to me. And send me the Photoshop files, and you know how to get in there and change it. It's done. You send it off at that point. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
That mentality that you have to know tech, okay, to do things that people normally wouldn't do, is also heard inside of your music, because you're just not a trumpet player. You are, how I want to call it, like a technology trumpet player. Like, you add something to your live set and also to your recorded music that normally you don't hear from trumpet. Can you explain the mindset or how you come about the sound that you bring to your music?
Absolutely. And I have been, a lot of my teachers have been recordings. When I was growing up, one of my first teachers was a trumpet player by the name of Maynard Ferguson, and that was on an album I was listening to and trying to figure out, my sound. So Maynard Ferguson was his high note trumpet player. So I would listen and learn and figure out. And then I came across Clifford Brown and Miles Davis. And when I came across Miles Davis, I listened to some of everything that he did. And even back when he was doing, if I can say this record, even back when he was doing Bitches Brew, he was doing tech stuff. He was using wah-wah pedals and different kinds of effects on his horn. So only thing I've done, Strict, is take some of the elements from Miles and apply them to what I do.
Gotcha.
I've figured out how to use tech, and a lot of my trumpet setup is literally the same type of setup that a guitar player would use.
Okay.
In terms of my effects processors. Yes. Okay. My effects processors and pedals and my microphones. I try to figure out how to use, I have this practice mute that's a microphone on the end of it. But what it also allows me to do is isolate my trumpet sound so that only the sound, my direct sound from my horn, goes through the processor, as opposed to the ambience and the mic sound, everything around me going through it. So those kinds of tech tweaks make my sound a little different than what others may be doing. But I didn't invent it. I just figured out how to make it work for me. Miles Davis.
That's awesome, man. I love it. I remember the first time, Melvin, I saw you use the pedals and the effects, and I was like really at awe that you were willing to take the extra step with your music to use that kind of technology. We've tried that with the flute, okay? So we've tried it, Melvin, but we still trying to perfect using the pedals. We had a defective pedal and just never kind of went back to that. And I say that's Kim, of course, but really like the idea of being able to have those effects. I've seen our guy Kelvin Wooten out of Athens, right, Huntsville, Alabama. I've seen him do a one-man show with the pedals and effects and looping and everything. And absolutely. I'm like, man, that's really, really cool. And you do the same things. Can do the same thing in your shows as well, as far as playing a piece, looping that, and then playing on top of it with the horn. I love it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. A piece of my tech was I had my trumpet mouthpiece, and I had an adapter put on the side of my mouthpiece that was kind of like a hearing aid it was a microphone that was attached to the side of my mouthpiece. And I found this piece of equipment that I don't have anymore, but if I can find it, it was a pitch to MIDI converter. Now, what that allowed me to do with my trumpet was anything I played on my trumpet, it would then turn the pitches into MIDI information, and it would allow me to trigger various keyboard sounds with my natural trumpet, not doing an EWI, not doing the mechanical trumpets, but actually using my real trumpet to trigger MIDI information and convert the pitches into keyboard sounds. That's the way my mind works. I'm trying to figure out how can I use the tech to improve the performances.
So if people want to hear some of the tech that you have or see you in action doing this, of course, if you're in the Birmingham area, Hoover area of Alabama, Saturday night, you're going to be here. Give me that time one more time.
7 p.m. Saturday night, perfect note. At this point, we're doing one show, 90-minute set, and we're going to have some fun. Like I said, the band is killing, and I'm excited about getting back out on stage and playing in front of a live audience. I'm excited.
In the circles, in the music circle, Sean Michael Ray is my guy. PJ Sprague is. We all family. You telling me they have never told you that I'm like one of the best background singers you could ever have? They've never mentioned that to you, Melvin?
I've heard you mention it, but I haven't heard anybody else.
Listen. I'm telling you, man. Like there are people like Ruben Studdard, and then there's me. Ask Ruben. He'll tell you.
Do that hand movement again. You said
Ruben Studdard, and then there's me. I'm up there. Like I'm just blessed as a singer. I know you got your wife doing background for you, and I could never take her place. But you may need a good baritone bass. You know what I'm saying, to kind of back you up.
Well, if you want to come out Saturday at 7 p.m. and join us on the side of the stage, I'll make sure that I have the mic plugged in.
Right.
Come on out.
Hey, for real though, if people are out here, like they're listening, our guys are on right now, how can they hear your music now? Like, where can they get it? How can they hear you the whole nine?
I'm going to go back to something that you and I said in a private conversation. My new single is out now. It's called Gotta Get Up, and it's a piece that is available on all streaming platforms, every place from Tidal to Spotify to wherever. But what I want and would love everybody to do is, if you want to get my new single and if you want to get any of my other 4 projects, I need you to go to m3live.info and buy direct from my website.
There you go.
Yes, you can get it from other sources, but I would really like for everybody to go to m3live.info. I've got 4 other CDs on there, as well as my new single, which is called Gotta Get Up, which happens to feature Sean Michael Ray on bass.
That's what's up.
Phil Davis, Lil Jon on drums.
Oh, man.
My wife is on some vocals. So it's a killer, and featuring guest trumpet player, my good friend, Mr. Lynn Roundtree.
That's what's up.
That is available. Can I show something real quick? Can I try to show something?
Come on, bring it up. Yes, sir.
That is my new single right there. That's the cover. It's called Gotta Get Up. It's available at m3live.info.
I love
Strick,
it.
you told me a while ago in one of our conversations, instead of sending people to other services, send them directly to your source. Do you remember that conversation we had?
I do. I try to help people with that.
Absolutely.
Try to help people with that. If you're going to advertise something, advertise, you can get the money. I know if you go to Apple, I know the Apple's going to take most of the money. All right. Amazon is a little better, but they're going to take a share of the money. You might as well have them come to, if you're going to talk about it, have them come to your site. YouTube channel, you have videos up on YouTube or anything like that?
I do as well. So my YouTube channel is M3 Live. So if you do a search for M3 Live, I've got videos up there as well. So you can go to my website for the music, or go to my YouTube channel, which is M3 Live. And of course, follow me on Instagram at Melvin M Miller, and Facebook is M3 Live. So all those platforms.
Absolutely love it, man. I'm glad you got a chance to pub that. Let me ask you this last question. Not too long ago, I saw on social media that you were hanging out with Chris Tucker in Atlanta. What was that experience like? Do you know him like personally and doing stuff for him? How does that work out as far as a relationship with him?
I've had the pleasure and the blessing to be involved with a wonderful, I'm going to try to make this a short story, to be involved with Ms. Zernona Clayton and the Trumpet Awards here in Atlanta. That's where it was based out of initially. And through Ms. Clayton, I had the chance to performing the trumpet fanfare for the opening of the Trumpet Awards every year for about 20 years straight. Through that experience, through Ms. Clayton allowing my light to shine, several years ago I met Chris Tucker in Vegas. We were doing Trumpet Awards in Vegas. Chris said, "Hey man, I want you to come play for my birthday party." He flew me out to LA. We went to a club called the Vibrato in LA. Strick, at the event, the late great Mr. Bill Withers was there in the house.
Wow.
I got a chance to meet Mr. Bill Withers. The club Vibrato is owned by Herb Alpert.
Wow.
I got a chance to meet his daughter. He wasn't there that night, but she came up to me because I did a cover of Rise. So I got a chance to meet her, and she, made a few connections here and there. So, long story short, Chris and I started friendship then. We exchanged numbers. He's a personal friend. So when his son got ready, he was celebrating the graduation, he called me and said, "Hey man, can you put something together for me?" So he's a personal friend, and when he asked me, I was like, "Absolutely. You're celebrating your son's graduation from Morehouse? I'm there. I'm there."
Love it, love it, love it, love it. And your wife got a chance to sing with you guys. And
Absolutely.
sing with you as well. Made it a family affair.
Absolutely.
This is what Brent said, that I'm also a dancer, so you just never know what you get. You just never know what you get. And then my wife said Block Party Radio is on the new single, so congratulations on that as well. We got it in rotation,
thank you.
brother. We're gonna make sure it gets played. You got our dude Lynn and Sean and Phil, man. That's a powerful group of guys, man. I know it sounds good. All success to you. I appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. This is why I do this show. It really is. Now, I will tell people this all the time. I really want to have a Birmingham show. I've been trying to have a Birmingham show. It's just every time I get a guest, it just happens to be a national guest. So I'm going with what God gives me. All right? So I try to focus on, I have a lot of great professional people in Birmingham that have great stories that I want to tell, but I did not want to miss this opportunity to talk to you, especially with you coming to Birmingham this weekend. Mm-hmm. So thanks for taking the time. Everybody that's watching it, Strick gives his seal of approval. Saturday night, Perfect Note. Y'all know where to go. Go pick up the tickets, and it's going to be a nice night for you to kind of hang out. Not only will you get Melvin Miller and all the great food, they got some great musicians that's going to be with them, and I really want you to go support what he's doing. All right?
And Strick, I would just want to say, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate Strick far, far beyond anything, because you took the time, and you always take the time to make sure that as an artist or as a friend that you reach out, you check on me. I appreciate you making this call, sir. I appreciate you. Love you, bro.
Love you too, man. Hold what you got real quick. Let me do this. It's not every day you get a chance to stream and support people like this, but in your perspective life, if you got people that you could actually help, even if it's a little bit, with whatever you're doing, your gifts and talents, I want to implore you tonight to find a way to help somebody else. You never know how far your help can go. And sometimes it comes back to you, okay? I just got a call tonight. I'm on the live tonight, and there's some business that I'm planning to do. And the guy tells me, "Hey, Strick, the fee that it costs to do business with me? I'm going to waive it for you." Ooh, it's a big wave, too. So blessings come, and you just never know how they come. All you need to do is try to use the gift that God gave you to help somebody else be better. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. If you hadn't hit the button to subscribe to this channel, I need you to do that before you leave. Hit the bell for notifications. Every time that I'm on, you will know. And of course, this is Strick City Live.